Okay, guys, Keyshawn McNeil back to you with another tip. We're talking careers today. Now, what we're going to focus on today is you're going through the interview process. You've probably done a phone interview by this time, and now you have been selected to come in for a face-to-face interview. So things are moving along in the process. You're doing well. So now we got to prepare for that interview. So what I've done here is I'm going to look at a position with a company here, and we're going to look at the role. It is a network system support engineer. So what I want you to do in preparing for this interview, these are things now, obviously, if you're looking at another position, you will, obviously cater this to the positions you're going into interview for. So let's say that you're interviewing for this role here, this network or system support engineer role. A lot of people call it a NOC, stands for Network Operating Center. So what I want you to do now is, as you are preparing for the interview, go to the company's website. I cannot stress that enough. Go to the company's website. All right, let's prepare for the interview. Now, I always talk about when you're interviewing, it's not really an interview, it's more like a meeting. So if you're going to a meeting, you want to have these things, have notes and things of that nature so that you can speak intelligently if ever asked about, things about the company. They may say, what do you know about us? You want to kind of be able to throw something out there. So before, I'm going to go through the job description first. So these are things that I would want you to kind of just make a note of. You kind of just review the job description here, and you see monitor, analyzes, etc. But what I want you to do is pull out some nuggets. These are the responsibilities. What I want to do is go down to things that are, desired, required. Like you see an area here that says certifications, right? Just choose this one. You see the certifications and all this. They're saying CCNA, MCSA. If you have those certs, great. You want to make sure you kind of drop them down on a little piece of paper, or you can actually print out the job description and just highlight that, because you're going to print that out, take it with you, highlight that. And these are areas you're going to be able to talk about when the employer asks you, why should we hire you? You can kind of go down those bullet points. Well, this job requires a CCNA. I actually have a CCNA, as you know. And, those are kind of things you can just check those boxes, because what you're trying to do at that point, you just want to reassure them that you have the experience that they're looking for. But what I want to do is I want to get down to the meat and potatoes of things, the stuff like the organizational skills. You can kind of talk to that. Like they're saying minimum 6 to 12 months of IT support and monitoring, troubleshooting, analyzing experience with Windows systems, etc. Right? So if you were to interview for this role, these are kind of things you may want to highlight. And then you can kind of talk to them. And part of my opportunities, my job currently, I'm monitoring IT, supporting, troubleshooting. You want to kind of speak to that. So that'd be a good area to highlight. All right, let's go back up to the actual job here. Most of these bullet points you can be able to speak to, obviously, but there are always some key takeaways. Like they're asking for basic domain functionality experience with Active Directory. So that should let you know you have to have experience with Active Directory. But at this point, you probably would not have been called in for a face-to-face interview if you didn't have some of these skill sets. Group policy, DNS, DHCP. Now, you may not need to have all of them, but, it's good if you have some of this experience in terms of Active Directory exposure, group policy, DNS, or DHCP. You want to highlight what you do have, because if you do that, now when that question comes up, why should we hire you, right? You can revert back to some of your notes, in your interview. And by the way, this is going to look so cool because you come prepared. Most people go into an interview, they don't even take a resume anymore. Those days are gone because, they have it on email. So they just, print it out and bring it in with them. But it's going to be good that you kind of have some notes and, kind of shows that you've done some due diligence on the company. Man, that goes a long way into helping a hiring manager decide between yourself and maybe two other candidates. They're more than likely to remember, wow, well, so-and-so actually came in and they actually had notes and, they really treated this like a real meeting. Those little nuggets, I just gave you a nugget. Those little nuggets go a long way, guys. I'm telling you, so have these things highlighted. But I also want you to do another thing. What I want you to do also is know who you're interviewing with. What I mean by that, this company here, Red River Technology, They're pretty nice sized government contractor here in the metropolitan area. So what you want to do is go to their website, look and see if they have any key wins, any news that's dropped, latest news. Maybe they just acquired a new company. So just take a minute to look at the website. It's always good to kind of know their core values. So you may want to write this down, jot that down, so you can kind of know what their core value stands on. And then when you're kind of talking about yourself, you can say, I noticed your company's core values are X, Y, Z. The values that define who we are and as a company and how we, you can kind of repeat what their core values are. Guys, that goes a long way in an interview. I cannot say this enough. You can basically kind of pull the interviewer in because now they're like, wow, this person really knows our company. They really took the time to learn more about our company. And yes, it took you 5 minutes to do this, but remember your competition, they're probably not doing this. They're not doing any due diligence. They're just being selected for an interview and they're going to go in, right? So these small little nuggets, man, they make all the difference, I'm trying to see if they had maybe some company news. Let's see here. And this is an IT role, so you may look at things like their managed services, what they do, and kind of speak to some of the technology they use. Oh, here we go. Most sections, they have like a news section. So you can kind of see what's anything new going on with them. Red River has achieved diamond partner level. That could be something good to just jot down as a bullet point, right? And take that in there. Hey, understand you guys just achieved diamond level, right? What is that, right? You know what I mean? Or congratulations on that. This just makes the interviewer just feel good, And a lot of times when you're interviewing with the hiring manager, sometimes it's the hiring manager, it may be the director that you're interviewing with. That's going to go a long way because I'm going to tell you, when it comes down to 3 people who come in for an interview and there's only one slot, how do you differentiate yourself? How do you do that? These are little ways you do that. These are some of the things you can do. And then you look at some of my other videos that talk about, when the interviewer asks you, do you have any questions for me? Those nuggets, are on there. So make sure you check out those videos as well. But, look at the news. What's going on at Red River? What's going on over there? All right. This was some news that they received 2020. Make sure it's current news if you can, right? Red River ranks 69 on CRN, fastest growing company. That's huge. Mention that. This is part of your due diligence. Like, mention it. Look, I'm doing this in 5 minutes. This ain't taking me all day. And look, you got something over here. Red River named to a 10-year, $13 billion DoD contract. That's huge. So these are things you take into the interview with you. I'm telling you, it's going to go a long way. I've been in this industry 23 years now, and I can't tell you how many candidates that I've interviewed and hired, and then also received feedback from hiring managers where they're like, man, so-and-so actually knew about our company. Man, that was refreshing. They knew about a contract we won that I didn't even know about. So what that does is, man, they're talking about you. They're talking about you. So naturally, if it's neck and neck for an opportunity, you kind of edging that person out because both of you can probably do the job. As a matter of fact, let's be frank. If an interviewer brings in 3 people for a final interview, chances are all 3 of you can do the job. So it's really just going to be about personality. Are you a fit for that role? And this is how you kind of differentiate yourself with the competition. Little nuggets like this, guys, go a long way when trying to secure a new offer for an opportunity. All right. So I hope you guys got something out of this. And again, I'm just going down, looking at their news. Do some due diligence on the company. All right. Look at their website. You're going to find some things. A lot of companies have news. They have recent wins, like as you see on this company site here. Go look at the job description again that you're interviewing for. Pull out some of those details, those key nuggets in the description for the skills that you have. Because I'm telling you, the hiring manager is going to probably ask you, why should we hire you? Or talk to me a little bit about what you're doing now. So you want to be able to knock off some of these bullet points, right? But you want to relate the experience right to what they're asking for. So you want to show the interviewer what you guys are interviewing me for. This is experience that I already have that I'm actually, in some cases, using right now. It can mean all the difference in you receiving an offer or being edged out by the competition. And in most cases, that competition may have done the same exact thing that you did, but you want to just move that pendulum to your direction a little bit, because 95% of the time when people come in for a final interview, they come in, they're dressed nice and sharp and all that good stuff. Come sit down, nice to meet you and all that, but when it's time to interview, they just answer questions that are thrown at them. And the ones who actually interview well are able to create some dialogue. They're able to ask the interviewer questions, ask them things about themselves. Hey, why did you join the company? How's it been since you've been here? Another good one to ask is, how is this position here going to directly impact, the success of the company, right? Something that someone always asks is, why is this position open? You can go there, but it's kind of generic. But what I would recommend is you say, hey, the person you hire for this role, how is it going to impact, the success of the company moving forward, right? Or again, other questions, you turn it into a dialogue by asking the hiring manager, you've been here for however long you've been here. They may tell you, but if you find a way to ask them, hey, how long have you been with the company? They would love to answer that question, right? Then you got another question to ask them. Oh yeah, you've been here 3 years. Awesome. So when you're 3 years here, right, what would you say some things that if you could change, going back 3 years, if you could change now, knowing what you know now, are some things that you would do differently? This position could be open because maybe that hiring manager had to let someone go and you're replacing that person. So you may even ask the hiring manager, if you are able to find out why the position is open. Another great question. Hey, is this position open due to attrition, or was someone terminated? Now, assuming they say the person was terminated, you may say, well, hey, what would I need to do in this position to be successful that the last person was unable to do? See, we're creating dialogue. You want the hiring manager to talk just as much as you're talking. Right? You don't want to get too long-winded when you're answering your questions. I strongly recommend do not ramble. Keep your questions, your answers to your questions anyway, to about 30 seconds max. Because you want to create dialogue, And when you're asking those questions to the hiring manager, it forces interaction. That will go a long way. Again, I've been doing this 22 years, and the interviewees that are successful, it's because they're natural, man. They just keep it a natural conversation. They don't tense up, and they're not like just answering everything like textbook. Be yourself. And if you're going with that mindset that this is just a meeting, I'm interviewing them just as much as they are interviewing me. If you have that mindset, you will start to see more offers on the table. You will start to see being called in for that second or that third interview. I can promise you that. But part of that is all about your preparation. So go to the company's website, go to their news area, find out some key wins that they may have had, an acquisition or what have you, like I just did here. Look at your job description, find out some of those bullet points of skills that you have that you can highlight, print that out, take that in there with you. And it just gives you a little more armor to go into the battle room with, guys. So if you do that, I guarantee you guys will have a lot more success. I hope you guys got something out of this video. Do me a favor, if you want to see more videos like this, please, if you haven't already, hit the like button for me. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And also, there is a subscribe button somewhere on there. Boom, hit that subscribe button so you can stay notified when I do other career advice videos here on the channel. As always, run your race, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.